All right, let's talk about Ontario. Right now, the province is staring down the barrel of a massive problem. Well, actually, it's two problems, a waste crisis and a trade crisis. And they're on a direct collision course. In this explainer, we're going to break down how a pretty incredible high-tech pivot could turn this looming disaster into a huge economic win and maybe even make the province a global leader in the process. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into the two big crises facing the province. Then, we'll look at the incredibly high stakes of trade at the border. After that, we'll explore the shift from waste to wealth, see how something called a carbon dividend makes it all profitable, and finally, look at the crucial digital bridge that's needed to tie this whole thing together. So, let's get right into the core issue, because this isn't just one simple problem for Ontario. No, it's two really complicated challenges that are tangled together and both have very real ticking clocks. First, let's talk about the physical problem. I want you to think about this number for a second. Nearly 3.5 million tons. That's how much waste, mostly stuff from construction and demolition, Ontario ships across the border to get buried in Michigan landfills. Every single year. It's a massive operation built on a model that just screams unsustainable. And here's where the pressure really, really mounts. You're looking at two deadlines heading for the same intersection. On one track, by 2034, Ontario literally runs out of places to put its trash. But on the other track, and this one is coming up way faster, the USMCA trade deal is up for review. And you can bet the U.S. is going to demand much stricter proof of where everything comes from, making that old way of just shipping waste over the border a whole lot harder and a whole lot more expensive. Yeah, this isn't just about trash, right? It builds into this massive economic challenge. For any business trying to move goods across that border, the USMCA isn't just a bit of paperwork, it's a high-stakes game where getting the details right is absolutely everything. And just look at the stakes here. If you fail to comply, the risks are brutal. We're talking retroactive tariffs up to 25%, huge financial penalties, and your truck's getting stuck at the border for who knows how long. But the rewards for getting it right, they're just as big. You protect your profits, you get smooth sailing across the border, and you build a supply chain you can actually rely on. So what's the bottom line here? Avoiding all those terrible risks? It all comes down to meticulous documentation. You have to be able to prove without a shadow of a doubt where your goods came from with a valid certificate of origin, and you have to be ready for some serious verification by customs officials. Okay, so the old way is clearly broken. Landfills are filling up, trade rules are getting tighter, something's got to give. And this is forcing a radical pivot. What if, instead of being a problem you have to bury, Ontario's waste could become a valuable commodity for a whole new circular bioeconomy? The key to this whole thing is a technology called high-temperature pyrolysis. Now, this isn't just burning waste, not even close. Think of it more like cooking it in an oven with almost no oxygen. The process breaks down organic stuff, like wood debris, and captures its carbon in a solid, stable, and really valuable form called biocarbon. This slide just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got this chaotic, low-value pile of construction waste. But then, technology steps in, and you end up with what's on the right, a structured, super pure industrial product that actually has real market value. It's a total transformation. And listen, this isn't just some sci-fi theory. This is happening right now. The government is putting real money on the table, like this $2.25 million investment in Char Technologies in Thorold. They're building facilities to do exactly this, turn wood waste into biocarbon that can actually replace coal in big industries like steelmaking. Okay, the tech is cool, but is it profitable? I mean, how does this actually work as a business on a big scale? The answer is a powerful 1-2 punch of smart policy and new market incentives. First up, you've got the stick. A proposed policy called the CIRCIL levy would slap a $60 surcharge on every single ton of waste that gets sent to a landfill. All of a sudden, that cheap option of just dumping your problems in a hole isn't so cheap anymore. And now for the carrot. Because this pyrolysis process permanently captures carbon, it generates something called carbon removal certificates, or CORCs. Each one of these is like a verified receipt that proves 1 ton of CO2 has been taken out of the atmosphere for good. And you can sell these to big companies who need to meet their climate goals. So let's put it all together into what the source material calls the carbon dividend. A company can make money in 3 different ways. 1, they sell the physical biocarbon. 2, they save $60 a ton by not going to the landfill. And 3, they sell those valuable carbon removal certificates. This triple revenue stream creates an incredibly powerful economic engine that makes the whole thing financially smart and a very attractive investment. Okay, so the tech works and the money works. What's the catch? There's always a catch, right? Well, there is one critical piece of the puzzle missing, especially when we circle back to that high-stakes world of cross-border trade. It all comes back to this one simple question. How do you prove it? When a U.S. customs agent is looking at your shipment and asks for that certificate of origin, how can you provide them with ironclad, verifiable proof that your biocarbon was made from legit Ontario wood waste and not something else? How do you prove it qualifies for those better trade rules? The sources propose a pretty cool theoretical solution they call a sentient bridge. Basically, it's a digital workflow that connects the messy, physical world of a construction site to the clean, orderly world of trade compliance, using the superpowered AI tools that most of us are already carrying around in our pockets. So here's how it could work. A worker on site could just use their smartphone to capture data right at the source, that pile of wood waste. That data then follows the material as it gets processed. And the final output? A secure, unchangeable digital document, a certificate of origin with a perfect chain of custody. This gives you the exact kind of verifiable data you need to completely eliminate the risk at the border. It's perfect, explainable compliance. And that really brings us to the core takeaway. This huge shift isn't just about being green. In a world with tightening trade rules and resources that are getting scarcer, turning your own waste into a high-value domestic product has become a matter of pure economic survival and security. And this is the kind of future it enables. A brand new marketplace where reclaimed materials are professionally tested, certified, and sold as premium products. A future where the stuff we used to call trash becomes the trusted foundation for the next generation of industry. And that's really the ultimate goal here. By weaving together new technology, smart policy, and innovative market tools, Ontario has a real shot to not only solve its twin crises, but to build a more resilient, self-reliant economy, securing its own sovereignty in a world that is moving beyond landfills very, very quickly.